We'll do one with the windows down. As the title of this video suggests, I've done something a little bit crazy, and that's bought an exotic car off of Carvana. Classify the GranTurismo as what you'd like, but it does technically classify as an exotic car, and I bought it from, out of all people, Carvana, which their reputation is not great. Especially as someone that works in the dealer space, I hear about it pretty often, so what am I doing? I found this 2014 Maserati GranTurismo while I was browsing one night on Carvana's site, and I happened to fall in love with it. It was pretty much the exact spec that I would have wanted, and the best part is it only had 14,000 miles. A little context for the video, I will be mostly talking about the GranTurismo, which we'll walk around here in a minute, but I'm also going to talk about my Carvana experience. And if you know anything about them, their reputation with titles and payoffs is not the best. For the price, the miles, and the condition of the car, which we'll get into here in just a second, I couldn't pass it up. So without further ado, let's jump into the process and the story of how I ended up with this thing. Okay, I am leaving the gas station after a long day of work, and right now I'm going to pick up something I've always wanted from a company that I've not always wanted to deal with. Now, I work at a car dealership. For those who don't know, I work at a dealership here in Plano, and Carvana's always been one of those people that is our biggest competitors. So, of course, I wouldn't ever shop with them unless they had the right car, and I kind of want to put them to the test. And what other to test them with than a 2014 Maserati GranTurismo. Now I know, it's kind of a crazy purchase, and it was part intentional, part unintentional. One, I've wanted to get a sports car for a long time. Ever since I sold my Cadillac XLR-V, I've been really missing the speed that I had, and well, the Maserati is hopefully going to fit the bill. I'd be lying to you if I wasn't a bit nervous. I mean, it's only got 14,000 miles, and Carvana does have a 7-day guarantee. It is a company that I've heard mixed things from, so I'm hoping my process is smooth. So far it has been, and I'm very excited to get there and pick this thing up. So, this video will be the test for Carvana and the GranTurismo. Carvana has this thing where you set up an appointment to pick up your car. It's a little bit odd that I actually haven't seen the car in person. I say that, but literally I bought the Bentley that way, pretty much the truck that way, and a lot of other cars that way. So this is no different, except this time I have a guarantee. After that drive, it was time to actually get Ubering over to Carvana. I was pretty nervous at this point since, first off, I've never owned a Maserati, and second, I was Ubering up to make a massive purchase, which most people wouldn't do. Like, really, who does buy a Maserati off of Carvana? We're sitting in the back of the Uber now with just about 5 to 10 minutes remaining till we get to the Carvana spot. I'm pretty excited to see this car. I've not anticipated buying from Carvana ever, so hopefully this experience is good. And when we get there, we'll see my new Maserati. I can't believe I'm saying that. And also a quick shout out, we just got to Carvana, to the best Uber driver I could have ever wished for. He subscribed to the channel, so I'm sure he'll comment below and I'll pin it. So now it's time to get this Maserati. Thank you once again. Here we go. Now we're at Carvana, and this was the time I was getting a Maserati out of a vending machine.
Of course.
And to be honest, the process was simple. I just signed some papers, I did most of the other work online, and then it was time to get the car out of the vending machine. This is insane. I don't even know what to think right now. I mean, this is the most expensive car I have ever bought. And today, I finally get to drive it home. I mean, buying a car online like this is definitely a purchase I would have never thought I would have done. I know I've said that like 5 times now, but one car of this caliber, and it's pretty crazy. I'm a loss for words right now. Wow, look at this thing up close in person. Of course, the GoPro doesn't do well in low light, so we'll have to do this again in a daytime setting. But look at this, only 14,000 miles. What a beautiful car. Can't wait to get behind the wheel. Let's cut to that now. Okay, so I had to move the Maserati inside because, well, showroom lighting looks the best. Just past this 2023 BMW M5 competition is our GranTurismo Sport. Look how beautiful that thing is. It really is one of the best looking sports coupes of all time and one of the best looking cars out of Italy. I will say it. People like to give Maserati some crap, mostly for the Ghibli, which is mostly understandable, but I do love all the designs of the cars, including the Ghibli. My favorite of them all is, of course, the GranTurismo, or at least was until the MC20 came out, but look how good this looks. This does not look like a 10-year-old car. And over the past day that I've been driving it, I can't tell you how many compliments I've really got on this car. It's a little bit crazy. Just look at the body lines of the GranTurismo. It looks so good. In fact, this color is one of my favorite colors. I didn't actually mean to purchase this color. I was browsing the site and it was listed as black, and if I put the picture on the screen, it looks black. When they brought it out of the machine, I was like, that is not black. In fact, I thought the wheels were a darker color too. It's the same VIN number that I ordered, just somehow looks so different on Carvana's website. I'm not complaining though, because this color looks better than black. I think so. It just brings out the body lines of this car so well, whereas I think black would hide them a little too much. Again, what a gorgeous car in the rear, and from this angle at the side profile, you can see it just looks fast standing still. The GoPro doesn't do too well in dark situations, but it does have a nice black interior with wood accents, the perfect color of wood for this interior. I do prefer a black interior over any other color in this car. Maybe not red optioned with white, but look at how nice it looks. It's super clean. This seat design is one of my favorites in any sports coupe as well. I've had a Cadillac XLR-V and I thought those were the best seats, but I changed my mind. This one's the best. Yes, that rubbing noise was from the leather, not an issue. Make that clear. But it does seat 4 technically. The rear seats are actually a little more spacious than most other cars. I'm referring to the Porsche 911. Not like you're really going to seat anyone back there anyway. There's only 2 complaints I have about this interior, and that's one, the screen is a little bit out of date. I don't really care for out of date screens usually, but being a 2014, I would have thought it would have had Bluetooth audio. I can't figure it out, but there is an aux port. I just use that. The second complaint is the bigger one. Anyone that has owned one of these cars understands the sticky buttons. This one isn't plagued too bad by it, but the buttons are a little bit sticky. If I get in here, you might be able to see that this material is coming a little bit sticky, a little bit loose on its soft touch material. It's not a huge complaint. I don't touch the side of the screen anyway much, but a couple of the buttons are getting a little bit sticky, and that's a little annoying. I remember we used to have a Ferrari I remember we used to have a Ferrari California in stock that had the same issue. Fun fact, I didn't actually realize that these are based on the same chassis, I believe, same engine as well. I never knew. I'm a little disappointed I never knew that. But that's enough talking. Let's get behind the wheel, drive this thing, and have a little fun. This is easily one of the best sounding cars of all time, no doubt. I love how the GranTurismo sound, and quite frankly all Maseratis. Really, all Maseratis are tuned to a certain hertz. I believe it's 333 hertz is the exhaust note, which is supposed to be the most attractive exhaust note. All right, let's go for a drive in sport mode in the GranTurismo Sport. There is one minor annoyance that I have with the car, and that's on the steering. It does squeak a tiny bit, like very tiny, hardly noticeable, probably won't even pick up on camera, but Carvana does fix certain things, so I'm hoping they will fix that. There's just so much power when you barely click the throttle. It's too fun. Very few cars put me at a loss for words. And when I picked this up and first drove it, I was at a loss for words. And I apologize in advance, I might have a little bit of a loss for words still. Oh. All right, let's turn around and feel the power a little bit. All right, stand still. I'm not gonna do any launch mode or anything, just straight to the speed limit. Holy shit! Wow! Wow! By the way, right after that, I just want to make the comment that I absolutely never do this with like any of my cars, for the record. And we'll probably almost never do that again. Holy shit! There's so little cars that put such a smile on my face. The sound, the feel, it pushes you back in the seat. I mean, there's faster cars, but this, whew. People forget, it's not just 0 to 60, it's not just about the top speed of a car, it's just the overall feel of a vehicle that really sells it all for somebody. I don't just look at numbers on paper, right? A top speed, a 0 to 60, that's ridiculous. I think anyone who just does that is ridiculous. It's all about how the car makes you feel. And well, if there's any question of how this makes me feel, rewind just a few seconds, please. I've owned a Cadillac XLR-V before, one of my favorite cars of all time, period. And I didn't choose to buy another one at the moment. I wanted to experience something different, and I'm glad I did. The XLR-V that I had was modified. No cats, still had the resonators. It was tuned from 440 to 560 horsepower. It was ridiculous. This, I don't have to tune at all to have a good time. And don't get me wrong, the XLR-V is one of my favorite sports coupes of all time. But this might just take the #1 spot for me. I mean, I was hoping it would with the amount I had to spend. The shifts are so crisp, and that sound that it makes through the shifts, little burble sounds when you let off, it's too good. We'll do one with the windows down so we can hear the glorious sounds of the GranTurismo. Wow. Okay, I just took it out of sport mode, so I'm no longer tempted to give it a little bit of gas. See, this is what I love after a very long day of work, is a car like this. It will put a smile on your face, just take all of your cares away. Holy. I mean, if you're debating on buying one of these, you get one at a good price, good miles, service right, do it. I am having no regrets right now. I am shocked by the prices that these demand, which is shocked by how low the prices are on these. A lot of people are scared of buying one. This has the 4.7, not the 4.2, so it's got the proper engine, as what I've read online. I guess I agree. This experience has proven that to me, but the prices are cheap. You know, these are in the 30s. This one cost me in the low 40s. I mean, 14,000 miles, serviced well, really nice looking car, Ferrari V8. You know, this is a lot for the money. And I'm not saying I want these prices to skyrocket on these, but I do think they're overlooked by a lot of other cars that are available. The Cayman, some 911s, even though they are a little more expensive, these are just overlooked. Now, I have owned a Cayman and I've driven several 911s at the dealership. Of course, 911s are very fun, depending on the trim level you get, but for this price point, it's very hard to find a 911 that would do this much to put a smile like this on my face. And you know what? Overall, I'm super happy with my purchase. This Maserati GranTurismo is just about everything I could have ever imagined it being. Crazy enough, I've actually never really been hands-on with a GranTurismo except for this one. We did have an 09 GranTurismo at one point for sale, and I did like it, but I didn't love it. I am more than in love with this car, so it actually turned out to be a great purchase. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my video on my purchase of a rather crazy car from a crazy company, and we'll continue the craziness through, I'm sure, many videos. I'll be taking this to a car show hopefully tomorrow. It's an exotic only show here in DFW, so stay tuned for those videos. I'm going to enjoy the ever-living shit out of this car. It's only got 14,000 miles. I'm going to treat it right, drive it enough, and just enjoy it. Anyway, stay subscribed. I have so many other videos planned. I've already recorded some of them. Some of them are about to be wrapped up. I have like 4 other cars that I've already got pretty much ready to be posted. So stay tuned. And once again, thank you for watching.